So I'm in my trailer. I mean, trying to sleep in my pickup. You know, after being evicted. And trying to sleep during the day in Florida and then trying to work all night on the midnight shift of my security guard job. And I snapped. I ended up driving. I left the job, left town, left the state. And at the time, I thought it was a great idea. But I ended up being homeless in Minneapolis for almost 3 years. And that was the biggest mess up I ever did. You know, I made a decision, and it was obviously, my thought processes were obviously flawed, and it was the wrong decision. And in my adult life, you know, ever since I started having to make decisions that affected my life, I've always made the wrong decision. And I've never understood why. But I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it led me to do a little more research online. And not to make excuses, I am responsible for my poor decisions. I got what was coming to me, and that's all on me. I'm not trying to project anything away. But I'm just trying to understand why. Why is it I have so much trouble? But being neurodivergent, you know, having learning disabilities, you know, doesn't help. But it's not an excuse. And so anyway, I wrote a newsletter. It's coming out Saturday, talking about more of what I learned. And I hope you check it out. Let me know what you think. But there are psychological and scientific reasons why I do this. And part of it is neurodivergent, having learning disabilities, having issues. And part of it, I think, being my self-critical self, is that I'm just stubborn and dense and just willfully make wrong decisions. Now, at the time, those wrong decisions really hurt, really messed me up. But here it is years later, and it gives me something to write about, something to make videos about. So I guess there's a silver lining in every dark cloud, you know. So the main thing about decisions, they have consequences, and you got to pay the price. And that's easier than dealing with the guilt from the aftermath. And that's something that I have struggled with. You know, because I hurt myself, I hurt people. And, you know, I messed up my health. So the takeaway is, make decisions with a combination of being rational and being emotional. You know, you don't get in your car and leave the state out of frustration and anger and emotion. You know, just think things through. And that's something that I sorely lack. I don't always think things through. So if you haven't checked out my newsletter yet, check out my newsletter. And I appreciate subscribers. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Just Google the name Lawson Wallace and look for my picture, and it'll lead you to all my content. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a good day.